Do we need a gate, or do we use vessels on the open sea? Is 19 times 19 361, which does not put us in the circle of rotation, but it opens the rotation more towards a Fibonacci? Continuously open, never being able to go back, elongating ourselves further away from the core, okay? Unless every time you go around 1 degree, you go around 1 degree, you go 1 degree, and then it goes click, and it goes back to the beginning. It goes around 1 degree, meaning that 19 times 19 is 361. As Walk mentioned, 13 moons, a 28-day cycle equals 364. We're running at 365 and a quarter, and the Mayan cycle was 18 by 20 is 360. So 360 to 361 is one more. But it's not only one more. I'm going to show you one little piece I just worked on. This little piece over here says, if you move 15 minutes on the clock with the hour clock, you have moved 3 hours on a 12-hour clock, right? 180 plus the 15 is 195, A, E, and I. But when you move this 15 minutes over here, when this arm moves 15 minutes over here, this arm goes from here all the way up to here. You have already finished half the clock. When you move 30 minutes, you move from here to here, you move 360 minutes, which equals to a day. When this moves 15 minutes and 30 minutes, this same arm, when this arm moves, okay, I mean, I wish I can show it to you exactly in the center, but I'll block the whole picture, right? So you'll see it when this arm moves, as it's moving, right? It's taking up the same area here, the same area. Maybe I can do it off. Maybe I can get the shadow. Can I get a shadow? Can I get a shadow line? I don't know how to do a shadow line. Maybe I'll use something like this. Can I get a shadow line? Is there a shadow here? Maybe if I, nah. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about, right? So in 30 minutes, this arm will go all the way around. The bottom will come all the way to the top will go in the bottom. If I do that twice, I get 720. This one goes all the way around. Goes down to here, goes down to here in 60 minutes. Okay, in 60 minutes, it makes 180, 180, 180, 180 equals to 720. But if this was the 24-hour clock, 15 minutes on the 24-hour clock, okay, 15 minutes on the 24-hour clock, I'm going to write this down as I speak. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Okay, let me completely put this down here. 15 minutes. I don't like the light. Hold on a second. Always the same problem. All right. Don't worry about it. 15 minutes on the 24-hour clock, right? This is a 12-hour. This is a 12H. And this is the 24H. 12 times H equals 96. 12 times 8. Now I'm working in regular numbers. Okay, I'm working in regular numbers. Okay, I'm working in regular numbers. Now, if 24 times this will equal to 192. Artificial intelligence inside Venus, the bad cat. This is 12 father. This becomes the cat. B and D becomes the bad cat equals 6. Bedeth, it actually says. Bedeth, right, is actually the Federation. No hear, no say, no evil, right? 15 minutes will equal to 6 hours, okay, and will equal to 360 minutes. We have 30 minutes. It'll equal to 12 hours and 720 minutes. But the reflection of this arm, turning, right? Turning over here. Once this arm goes from here to here, okay, it has used up 15 minutes. 15 minutes is 1 day. 30 minutes, 720. This all the way here, and then this goes all the way around, and it becomes 1,440 minutes. And in 1 hour, you complete your day, moving only 30 minutes on the clock. Now, I'm not talking about the big one. I'm talking about the red one. If the red one was equivalent to the big one that marks the hours, is it the big? No, excuse me, equivalent to the smallest one. The smallest arm marks the hours. The biggest arm marks the seconds. And the arm in the center, okay, the two arms of the same color, marks the minutes. The big arm, the big arm, the big arm is the minute. And the small arm, okay, is the hours. Hours are small, minutes are big. Seconds is the red arm, usually the biggest arm inside the seconds, but not always. I can't say that. No, because the seconds run, I think, I have to look at this, but is it possible? I'd have to look at a clock. I haven't seen a clock. Is it possible the arm sticks out on the minutes? It runs over on the hours and runs inside on the seconds, because that is actually telling us something, right? Now what I want to speak about right now is this little discussion that in 13 months, it's 364 days. In in 13 cycles of the moon, it's 364 days. The Mayans run 360. That means we are using up an extra 4 days, okay, to the cycle. Why would the Mayans be 360, okay, when we actually need 366? Because the 360 of the Mayan, okay, is starting from a minus position. And we're always going 360, ending up in a forward position. Not actually ending up at 12, but maybe always ending up at 3. Do you follow what I'm saying? Let's start life born here. So we're never in the center. Because if we were in the center, we would be going nowhere. So we start here, and the minute we make our first quarter move, we're here. And we're always skipping over the 3, 6, 9, 12. 3, 6, 9, 12. We would always be skipping over it in numbers. So that would be this 24-hour clock. So that would be your 1 day. I disliked, okay. So now if I take the 3 hours here, the 15 minutes here, let me try and fix this time. If I use the 15 minutes in a 12-hour clock, and I use the 15 minutes in a 6-hour clock, I get 540 minutes, the number to the day. I get win big red if I take the 30 minutes with the 15 minutes, which would be 45 minutes, which would only be 3/4 of an hour. 15 and 30, 3/4 of an hour. 15 and 30, 3/4 of an hour. 720 and 180 is 900 your birth. 360 and 360, 720 win big red. Do you follow what I'm saying? 15-minute mark is here. It's also the 6-hour mark. It's also the 3-hour mark on 2 different clocks. This 30 minutes with this 15 is 45. This 30 minutes with this 15 is 45. But this is on the 12-hour clock, creating 96. This is on the 24-hour clock, creating 192. Half of that is 96. Half of this is 48, stands for area space. Half of this we need not talk about. It's over here. Half of this is 6. Man takes up 6 area space. Here we get 9. Here we get 18. 1 and 8 is 9. 0, 3, 0, 6 is 9. 66, 76, 77, 78. This one creates the gateway. 63, 66, 129. This recreates the birth. When you go 63 and 66, because 0, 3, 0, 6, everything gets a 6. This becomes your 1440. So the Mayans have 360. So in 10 years of the Mayan cycle, compared to 10 regular cycles of the moon, would be an extra 40 days. But let's not do that. We can't go on 10 years because the leap year runs us that we run 313. So we're going to go every 8, 12, 16, and 20 years. So in 4 years, okay, we get, in one cycle, with the Mayans, we get 5, 10, 15, we get 21. For every Mayan cycle, the cycle we run now runs an extra day for the cube, runs an extra part of 21 days for the cube. Every 4 years, towards 360, 3 times 5 is 15, and 1 6 equals 21. In order to create this, we need, okay, 40 years to create this. 40 by 21 recreates the number to Pluto, 8, 4, and 6. 6 is the half-life, because of the 24-hour clock is already explaining to us that 6 is half of the 12. The arm on the clock that man moves. So what I'm saying now is that in 4 years, it's 21. In 10 years, it's 210, and that's the number we need. When we add from 1 to 20 in the cycle months of the Mayans, 1 to 20 equals to 210, 0 equals 6, because we don't start in the center, we start to the side. It's a Betty Bye. It's not a Betty Bye. It's a Betty Bye. Are you going to bed, or are you praying? It's a Betty Bye. You pray on the cross, but you go to sleep off the cross. It's a Betty Bye. So now that we ran 10 cycles, we ran 10 cycles, 40 years, 210. What is the number we actually need to actually balance? Where is the middle cycle? Is it at 15 cycles? Because if we did 15 times 21, it would equal to 315, the ace. 15 cycles, the letter 0, 15 cycles of leaps would give us 315 days extra. We're going to do it like this. We're going to try and find out exactly how many cycles it takes to lose a year. So we have 21 times 18 equals, 21 times 17 equals to, that's the highest we can get. 21 cycles of 21. 21 cycles, okay, times 17. 21 cycles times 17, because I'm thinking with you. 21 times 17 equals to 357. Now you see that number, 357? I'm going to show it to you again. 210 divided by 3, 7, and 5 equals 56. That is the mark of the sun. 210 divided by 3.75. 56. 56 times 3.75 equals 210. 210 is the mark on the dartboards. Now we're going to go 120 divided by 3.75 and equals to 32, the doorway. Now 3.75 times 4 equals to 15 minutes. It's exactly perfect. The dartboard is exactly perfect to run around 3.75, because on the dartboard, the 50 and the 25 is 75 together. Okay, the dartboard, add 1 to 20. It equals to 1 plus 2 plus 3. It equals to 210. You add the 25 for the darts in the green and 50 in the red, and you get 285. You're back on the cross. 285 divided by 3.75 equals to 76. It's all in formation of 375. And would you like to know what word it says? G7, U3, N5, G-U-N. Take away all the guns. Take away all the guns. Take away the true reality of movement of the clock. Take away the clock. Man has no clock. If man actually has no clock, first he works for himself and he's grinding it out to run by the clock. Then they take away the clock. He no longer knows what time he will be woken up. He no longer knows what time he will be put or given the chance to go to bed. Man no longer has the clock. Are you now with the clock, or are you against the clock? What does the clock do? It keeps you healthy, wealthy, and wise, and a bit stressed to remind yourself you might be late for a very important date. Raphael 7286 and a constellation of Pegasus. Understanding that, again, I went into the Mayan time at 357 and I didn't finish, and I was going to finish. This 357 is 17 cycles, and each cycle, as I'm going to write this down again. We're going to go down and do this again. We're going to do this again, right? Each cycle A cycle has 4 years. In this, there's 365, 365, 365. Okay, there's 5, 5, 5 over the reality of a circle. 3 times 6, 3 plus 6 is 18, and 9, the two highest numbers in rotation, creating number 27. The number of existence, 28, is the cycle of birth, and 1 after 27 for red men is what it is. This is the number over time, 27 plus 1. So we have, this is 15, now we have the 366th day, and we have a total of 21. 21 times 17 equals 357. So now we need how many more cycles? Okay, it can't be more than 21, and if we have an 18th cycle, we're going to add 21 because a cycle equals this. So we're going to add 1. We're going to add plus 1 cycle. We get 5 days. 5 days. Plus, not a cycle, plus 1 part. Plus 1/4 equals to 5 days equals 362. Now we cannot even complete the other day because if we add 2/4, we now have 367, which brings us 1 day over the 366 mark, and we need to get, 2 days over the 365 mark. Having 2 days, starting on this angle, 1 day, 2 days to get to the other side. 1 day into the center, 1 to the other side. 1, 2, 3. And we all meet at the same point of creation. So it would be 21 and 17 and 1/2, or this would be 3/5. Or if we use the 6 days, you know why I'm saying that? Because we use 1 part, we use 5 days, we add on 5 days, 362. Now let's say we need 3 days. So we go over here, we use this one over here. We use 1 of these and 1 of these. Or we use 2 of these. Either we get 367 or we get a remainder. We get a remainder either as we need 3/5 more. So we add on more, we have 2 over. Or we do this one over here. 6 days or 5 days. So we end up with 362 and 3/5 for 365, and we end up with 362 and 4/5 for a leap year, or 4/6 for a leap year. So each one of these have a possibility to match 365, 366, 366 in a leap year. 5, 5, 6. New World Order. Raphael, 3 and 8 equals to 24. Plus 3 and 8 equals to 11 equals to 35. Creation of the Earth-Jupiter Gateway. Thank you for watching.